Hello, happy Sunday, and welcome back to another episode of Unique Moments where we take a moment to breathe and take a moment to pause, reconnecting mind, body, and spirit. Today, the topic of the episode is meditation, but I don't want to just talk about how meditation is a way to quiet the mind. I want to look at how it's possibly just an invitation to be still, to rest within oneself. But before we get into the episode, I am going to pull a card. We'll see what we get for this one. And this is from the Golden Mantras Oracle deck. And we got, I flow through life at a smooth consistency. Oh, I like that. I flow through life at a smooth consistency. And then let's read it. Card number 39. And it says, my love, find yourself in a comfortable space, gently close your eyes, and find an easy way and savory inhale and exhale. That was it. The moment of ease and peace is where you exist, smooth, easy, and breezy. Claim this and see yourself in this flow more and more. And then the journal prompt says, how can I remove ridges and rough edges in my life to exist more gracefully? How perfect. How perfectly does that tie into meditation? Literally take a breath, inhale, exhale, breathe, pause. And essentially, that's not why I created this whole podcast, but just to take a moment, quite literally, just to take a moment for self, just to take a moment to be in stillness and just reconnect, which I feel like that's what meditation does. But to touch on the card, I feel like it's very self-explanatory. I flow through life at a smooth consistency. And I think it's more of like an affirmation and kind of like not brainwashing yourself, but telling yourself that, like affirming and confirming that you flow through life at a smooth consistency, even if you don't, even if you're not, even if things are chaotic and you're about to crash out. Like, take a breath, pause, inhale, exhale, and affirm, speak over yourself that you flow through life at a smooth consistency. Because at a certain point when you're healing, when you're doing work on yourself, when you're, transforming into the best version of yourself, being someone who you've never been before, there's a certain level of delusion. There's a certain level of brainwashing that you kind of have to do because you're going from one space, you're going from one area of your life to another. So you can't get there by doing the same things and acting the same way and completing the same habits and having the same thoughts. So you have to do something different. You have to change the flow of the energy. And the way you flow through life, I think that affects your mood, that affects, your friendships, your relationships. How is your life going? Are you flowing? Are you swimming? Are you gasping for air? Are you hanging on for dear life? Like, what's going on? Whatever's going on, I think the desired outcome would be that you're flowing. When things are in flow, when you're in a flow state, when things are just at ease and you don't have to worry so much. You don't have to, you're not anxious. You're not worried about the future. You're not worried about tomorrow. You're at peace. You're at ease. You're in flow. And I think meditation is a way to get there. It's not the only way to get there. I've preached meditation to everybody that I can think of for as long as I live, for as long as I've been meditating, which consistently, I've probably been meditating for the last 5-6 years consistently. And when I started, I wasn't trying to oh, I want to take up meditation, I was getting into yoga, and I did a internship. I did an internship at a yoga studio, and part of the payment was you get to do free classes. So I was always doing yoga classes. And if you've ever taken a yoga class, at the end when they do shavasana, sometimes they just do the shavasana and it's like a little they call it like a little nap, or like just the end of the practice where you lay on your back and you kind of quiet your mind and you just breathe and you give gratitude for the practice that you've done. And, you know, you just appreciate your body and you appreciate your life. And it's just a gratitude way to seal off the practice. But some instructors and some classes, they build in like a meditation with the shavasana. So it's like combined. You go into like a short meditation and then that leads you into shavasana and then the practice is over. So I think that was one of the first things that connected me and introduced me to meditation and just stillness. And then I just started just reading a lot of books about spirituality, about meditation, about energy work. And one thing that's consistent throughout is people just say meditate, 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 meditate. And it's just a really good way to get in tune with yourself and in tune with your body, especially if you have anxiety, or especially if you have ADHD, or especially if your emotions are not regulated, or if you have like a just a bad nervous system. I feel like there's a better way to say that. If you have like an unstable, there you go, an unstable nervous system, meditation is a great way to just stabilize yourself. It just allows you to be center and kind of quiet all the noise and just be in stillness. And so much can happen in that way. I don't necessarily use meditation as a way to quiet my mind. I use it for different things. Sometimes, if I am feeling overwhelmed or if I'm feeling like very stressed out, I'll just take a moment and pause and maybe just do quick 3 deep breaths. Meditation doesn't have to be long. Sometimes I meditate for 5 minutes, sometimes I meditate for 30 minutes. The longest I've ever meditated for is an hour. And you do have to work your way there, because being still for that amount of time and not doing anything and not getting sucked into thought after thought or replaying things or revisiting the past, it does take a lot of focus and a lot of practice and a lot of energy. But it's very rewarding if you can meditate for that long. But the meditations don't always have to be, I'm just going to go into a quiet space and quiet my mind. And I feel like that's what you think of. And that very well can be true. But you can also use meditation to think. You can use meditation to focus and refine your thoughts. There's so many times where I've needed to come up with like an idea, or if I'm writing a poem, like thinking of the word or the next line or a theme or something. Like I need to generate something. I need to generate energy. I need to think about something. I need to think about what's the next step I'm going to take. What's the next move I'm going to take. And it can quite literally be a time of thinking. Like you're quieting your mind, you're going into yourself, but you're also very active in thinking about possibilities. You're not trying to erase every thought you've ever had. You're actively in your meditation trying to think, okay, what can I do here? How can I move this around? What's gonna better establish this? Like you can use it as an active form of meditation as well, but you can also use it very passively, and you can use it to quiet your mind, and you can use it to calm down and to relieve stress. And I think that's my favorite way, because it's just so beneficial. It's just so beneficial. But no matter how you can meditate with music, you can meditate with sound, meditating with like sound bowls, or meditating with just certain, depending on how you feel, like vibrations, like frequencies. Like there's different frequencies that activate different energies, different cells in your body. And so that's a way to do that. That can also be a way to just focus and concentrate and just be in stillness. And then I think the point of it is, though, that you're kind of disconnecting from this reality a bit, which Some people might find that kind of scary. Like some people might, not really want that and want to be here in this earth, on this realm, grounded, which is fine. But I think the point of meditation is to elevate your consciousness, but it's also to just move into a different realm of consciousness. If I'm not mistaken, I think when you meditate, your brain goes into the theta state versus being in like alpha or beta when you're in your waking, like doing activities. So your brain waves change. Changing states of consciousness can be very insightful, and it can open you up to different things that are not on this plane that you may not have been accustomed to. Like if you do pray, if you are spiritual or religious and you do hear from God, we know we don't hear from God from an audible voice. It comes in different ways. Sometimes I hear from God through music. Sometimes an answered prayer will be a song. I hear from God through just seeing different words, different hunches, different intuitions that I get to like do this, go here, and it's in that meditative state that you can hear those things more clearly. So oftentimes people, meditate after they pray. So it's like, yeah, you've asked God for something, or you've asked, you've asked for something, and now you have to wait, and now you have to hear, and now you have to receive. And meditation can be a great way to get into that receptive mode, because if you're just going about your day, never taking the time to pause, and you always just have thing after thing after thing after thing after thing, then you can't really hear what's going on in the background of life, which is really more exciting than what's going on in the foreground. Like everything that you see, everything that you're doing on the day to day, everything physical that we're doing, that we're seeing, happens because of something in the spiritual. Something spiritual, something in the realm of the unseen happened first that produces physical action. What do I mean by that? So you're eating lunch right now because you had a thought in the non-physical realm that signaled that you were hungry and now you want to eat food. You are going to bed because you're tired. You just yawned. A bodily function, that's something that's produced from something that we can't see, produced a reaction, a bodily function that told us, okay, maybe we should go to sleep now. Or you just had an idea for a song, or you had an idea for a project, or you wanted to go to the store. Like 9 times out of 10, it's usually a thought, or it's usually something that you see. It's usually something's giving you a hunch or an intuition to do something, and that's where the actions are coming from. But back to the meditation. I don't know how I got on that tangent. Back to the meditation. So there are different styles of meditations. Like I said, you can meditate for different periods of time, but also just different types of meditation. So I think the most common is a sitting meditation. You're just sitting, and however long you plan to meditate for, that's how long you meditate for. There's also, you can do lying meditations, which is like meditations lying down. Very tricky because it's hard not to fall asleep. So you have to be like super extra alert because you're already laying down, your eyes are closed, you're going into a different state of consciousness. So it's like you very well could fall asleep. Would not recommend for beginners. And then there's walking meditations. And those are really good if you're already active already. So like I take my dog for walks. And so if I don't have time to do a sit down meditation, or even like a standing meditation, or even to catch my breath, I'll take that time because I know I'm going on a walk anyway, and just turn it into a meditation. And the way to do that is just to bring mindfulness into it. Like, can you be mindful of the pavement or the grass hitting your feet? Can you be mindful of the birds, of the sounds, of the people that you see? Can you be mindful of the way that your body feels after 10 minutes of walking, after 15 minutes of walking? Just being so tuned into the movements, being so tuned into self and what's going on, that it's like a meditation. You're in a meditative state now, because instead of, listening to music while you're walking, or listening to a book, or talking on the phone, like you're not engaging in an activity. You're turning inward. You're reconnecting your mind, your body, your spirit to this physical activity that you're doing, which can be a meditation in itself. I recommend meditation. There's just so many So many benefits. A lot of them are long term. Meditation helps to improve your focus. It helps to improve your memory. It helps to improve your sleep. It helps to reduce the effects of aging over time, anti-aging effects meditation has on the brain, and it rewires your brain. It's just truly fascinating to me how it can literally rewire your brain for just overall well-being, like overall happiness, overall dopamine receptors, overall it improves your overall quality of life because you're sleeping better, your mood is regulated, your nervous system is regulated, it regulates your nervous system, you have more energy, you slow down, you process better, you think about things before they happen because you're accustomed to slowing down your mind, you're accustomed to pausing and taking a moment and being mindful about the situation, and being mindful about what's going on. You're not just reacting harshly, you're not just reacting quickly, and you're really slowing down and taking your time and moving with intention. Really, I think meditation helps you to walk with intention, move with purpose, and to really just be aware. Like, I think at the end of the day, it is really about awareness. Like, I think the first step of learning how to meditate or deciding if meditating is for you is really determining, okay, one, can I sit with myself? Can I be still and sit with myself for at least 5 minutes? I always say start with 5 minutes. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Optimally, they say to see any sort of like the effects of the health benefits of the mood, of the nervous system regulation, of better improved sleep. They say to meditate at least 15 to 20 minutes a day, at least. So if you're doing 5 minutes a day, that's not to say that you won't see these benefits and effects, but you probably won't see any like drastic changes. But you also could. I don't know. Everyone's genetic makeup is different. Maybe you do really well in meditation and you only need 5 minutes to connect, to tap in, to center yourself, to, and I think at the end of the day, it's about centering yourself. How can I be center at all times, even if I'm not meditating today, even if I'm not meditating, like maybe I miss a meditation, but can I carry what I learned? And that's the other thing, it's a practice. Can I carry what I learned up until this point? Because it builds on each other. Can I carry what I've learned in my meditation practice through my day to day to help me to improve my life, but like I said, it's not going to be for everyone. I stand behind it 1000%, 10,000%. I think it's a way to just reconnect and tune in and tap into yourself, especially in a world where it's like we live in an energetic world. Whether you believe in energy or whether you don't, whether you think it's spiritual, woo woo, crazy, whatever, we live in a world of energy. And energy flows in all kinds of ways. And people have all types of different kinds of energy at all times. And we know this. You know when someone has good energy, good vibes. You know when someone has bad energy, bad vibes, or just kind of creepy, weird, like ugly, disgusting energy, or like very, joyful, abundant. We can feel energetically how people affect us. And when you meditate, it allows you to tap into your own energy so that you never, ever, 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 especially if you're an empath, especially if you're a person who can pick up on energies and frequencies coming from people, coming from rooms, coming from environments. If you are very sensitive to energy, meditation is also a way to tap into your own energy source and to basically make sure that you are in your own energy at all times, even though around us so many things are happening. Like so many things are happening, so many different energies, so many different personalities, so many different realities are happening at one time. And when you meditate, it really allows you to lock in with yourself and see what your own frequency is, especially even hanging around like close friends or close friend groups. Like we have mirror neurons in our brains that we tend to mirror people who we're around often. We tend to mirror people that we admire, that we look up to, like we act like them. We do their same habits. We try to live our life like them. And I think when you meditate and do other practices to get back to your essence, get back to your vibration, your inner being, your sense of self. It just really, it just allows you, it opens up a world of authenticity. It opens up a world of authenticity, and it shows you who you are through the noise, through the chaotic busyness of life. And like, it's a way to bring you back. If you ever get too deep, if you ever get too caught up, if you ever get too, down the rabbit hole, it's just a way to bring you back. It's a gentle invitation to come back to yourself. So highly recommend. 10 out of 10 habit, the best habit that I could have ever adopted. And I see myself meditating for life. Honestly, I don't see why I would ever stop. So highly recommend. Start small if you want to start. And if you don't, just know that you're missing out. Just know that you're missing out. So I forgot to say this in the beginning of the episode, but for a deeper reflection on the card that we pulled, I flow through life at a smooth consistency. Please go read the blog, touchedbygrace.blog at medium.com, where Grace will write a deeper reflection on how that card resonates with her. And until next time.